Players. It's your boy, Pete Grossman here. Welcome back, counselor, office, something scholars. What's up, baby? I'm here to make some money, all right? Daddy Pete, he's gonna make that money for his Ferrari, all right? We're continuing the takeover, okay? We're taking over. And here we are, we're gonna react. We're gonna react to Pete Parson getting his ass kicked out. That's right. We're gonna react to Pete Parson getting the fuck out of my company. All right, I'm gonna pass it to Mr. Gaming Counselor now. You'll take care. Scholars, hey, it's me. I'm totally not dressed up as Pete Grossman. What's up? Yes, so we're gonna jump into it. There is a video that has piqued my interest. We're gonna jump in. It is called from Side Scrollers. We're gonna watch ex-Halo dev breaks the silence on Bungie's downfall. Very interested. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but we're jumping straight in. Obviously, the news broke that Pete Parsons is stepping down, and then our favorite over-delivery guy, who people are trying to gaslight as guys. I love Hippie. What Lana or her, aka Hippie, who used to be a CM, tried to gaslight Justin as being the saving grace, and that people were taking out of context the over delivery, which I think is fucking funny. That we're talking about taking things out of context when you look back to when he said that years ago to how the state of the game is now. Bungie absolutely has tried not to over deliver, except for maybe Into the Light. And when it has over delivered, it looks great. But Bungie has not been trying to over deliver in many years. And we've seen that when they talked about speed over quality, we can very fucking blatantly see that Bungie is focusing on speed over quality. So we're going to watch this podcast. I'm assuming it's a podcast interview, which is very interesting to me. We're going to jump in, and I'm going to go ahead and stop my... I have not watched this. I know that Marty O'Donnell is the person that's being interviewed. I know that much. I know that Marty is part of the video.
This news came out courtesy of...
Hold on. Okay, we're maxed.
Bungie.net of the passing of...
Okay, that's unfortunate. Like, I'm going to try to do some corrections here. This may not be pretty. This may not be pretty. I'm doing this live. It's not pretty, but we're going to make it work, okay?
Of the torch here. The quick heads up on this is Pete Parsons is out as the head dude over at Bungie here. Now, you had an interesting response to this over on
It's just business.
By the way, Pete, it's just business.
It's just business.
So, fairly
it's always business
here.
I came
But
up with that yesterday. It's just amazing that it's got this many.
I'll allow you to kind of go into detail on that tweet.
The detail is for those few people who maybe heard.
How's the sound? Let me know.
Different things over the years. I'm not a big fan of Pete Parsons as CEO, and
man, who fucking is a fan of Pete Parsons? Tell me who actually is. I don't even think Sony was a fan of them.
I've said things in the past like the mistake that I made was helping to get Bungie out of Microsoft, but I didn't get Microsoft out of Bungie. And Pete Parsons is one of those people who is a career Microsoft guy, and he was career Microsoft business guy. And we sort of brought him along. And I think in hindsight, I think that some of the stuff that Pete brought with him was in the long run a mistake for Bungie. So there was a point way back when Pete first became studio manager. This is when we were wholly owned by Microsoft. This is like in 2002, 2003, probably 2003-ish, where there was a separate company down. What the guy's names? You know who I'm talking about. In Texas, big Texas company, Gearbox.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
They were assigned to do the Halo 1 port for PC.
Wait, Gearbox did the port for Halo 1 to PC? Like, like the old edition, right? Like, are we talking about Combat? Yeah, we're talking about Combat Evolved. I actually played that on PC. I was pissed because the PC version had the fuel rod cannon and I think it had the flamethrower. I know it had the fuel rod cannon, which always pissed me off. I remember playing at my grandpa's because I had Halo on Xbox and I got, it was only at my grandpa's I was able to play because he had a computer and we didn't at my house. So I'd play Halo there. And I remember trying to play like multiplayer and there was the fuel rod cannon. I'm like, this is some bullshit. Why is this not in the actual game in the campaign?
And we were working
Mini
on
rant.
Halo 2 at the time. Pete was new as the Microsoft executive studio manager of Bungie. He came to me and said, Microsoft has decided not to do a PC port. And this is like a year after, or 2 years or so after we had Ed Freeze and Alex Seropian come out on stage at.
Just so we're also clear, it kind of makes sense because back then PC wasn't a big deal. There was PC games, like obviously I believe Doom was on it. There was hunting games. There was like a bunch of small piece, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. There was a bunch of PC games, but it wasn't as big as like console. I mean, way back in the day, console was the shit. That was the jam. Console wars, man. I remember being, Xbot versus Pony Boys, though that's not what we used to call them. You just call them stupid Xbox players or stupid PlayStation players. We used to insult them and say, my console's better than your shitty little PlayStation or your Xbox is garbage.
Mac World saying, don't worry, everybody. Halo will be ported to the PC and the Mac. We promise that will happen. Because at the time, there were a lot of Mac fans that were really upset that Halo was going to be Xbox only. And so we wanted everybody to know, like, no, this will be on the PC. We promise it'll be on the PC. So when Pete came and told me that, I was like, that's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
I can't be part of a company that lies to its fans. And he goes, Marty, it's just business. So that's burned into my head. And I still worked with Pete and was friends with Pete, and we did a lot of stuff together.
Guys, we shipped out Edge of Fate with no fucking content. It's just business, brother. Just business.
For many years after that, but I still remember that he could actually have those words come out. And I put my foot down and said, I can't be part of that. And eventually, I don't know what all the negotiations were, but eventually, of course, Halo did come out for the PC and the Mac, and, it was all sweetness and light and happiness. But what I saw, there was a 3-year period where Pete was not at Bungie when we were getting ourselves out of Bungie. And very few people know this, even though we've talked about it. Pete was...
It's funny. He was a lying piece of shit back then, and he helped lie to a lot of people. Who remembers that people like hyping up Lightfall as the Infinity War of the Destiny universe? And it was absolutely fuck null from that. Like, what should have been an easy slam dunk was such a fizzle. It was like a wet fart.
While we were trying to get out of Microsoft, Pete was the executive in charge of Bungie. But we were all still Bungie, we were all still Microsoft employees. And while we were negotiating our way to get out of Microsoft and getting very little traction on that, Pete told Microsoft that he was going to resign unless they truly upped their negotiations with us. And it came to a head at one point, which you can read about in the book. And we basically said, this is good, Pete, go ahead, resign. We're going to go independent. We're going to allow you to go away. And this is, we didn't fire Pete. We allowed Pete Parsons to quit Microsoft fall on his sword to show Microsoft how serious we were. And this is in 2006.
That's crazy that he was willing to fall on the sword in hopes that it would push the agenda. Now, I'm assuming that maybe there's got to be like some underdeal, right? There's got to be some deal underneath where they're like, hey, if we're successful, we're going to bring you back. And we're, I do not believe that Pete would do anything that would not allow him to make bank. I don't believe it.
So this is more than a year before Halo 3 was shipped. So we're making a very serious, play to say we are going to go independent, and we're even going to let your boy Pete Parsons, excuse me, resign. And so he did, and then we became independent without Pete Parsons. So the company that made Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST was a company without Pete Parsons. So you look at the credits on that, Pete's nowhere.
And that is why I knew Halo 3 was my favorite game ever. I knew it. I knew there was a reason for it. It's fucking Pete didn't have his gritty ass hands on it.
To be seen. I think we might have done a special thing.
Just business.
But Pete also didn't work on Halo 1. He was the marketing director of Xbox Studios during Halo 1 period. So he came on a year after we shipped Halo 1, was studio manager for Halo 2, and then resigned, and then came back about halfway through Halo Reach development. And he came back as marketing director for Bungie. So the new independent Bungie rehired Pete as marketing director. He'd been gone for 3 years. And then he eventually became COO. So he was COO when I was fired.
Ooh.
And then in 2016, I think he became CEO after Harold Ryan left. So it's just, I would say that, I would disagree with many decisions that I think under the Pete Parsons regime were made, and they reflect, I think, the way Pete Parsons.
I like how he says regime, because that, based on what we've heard from leaks from former employees and people that still work there, they call it the good old boys, right? And that's the thing that I think we all need to remember when we're thinking about Pete is gone. So that's going to change things. The good apparently are still there. Like the Boy Scouts, the Boys Club. Just because he's gone doesn't mean that everyone else that was part of that is also gone. Like, I want to see all leaders gone. If we're going to say that Bungie is about to turn ship, you got to kick all the captains and all the leaders off the ship. We need a mutiny. We need to throw their ass out and name a new captain that is from the crew that actually participate and actually do shit. It's just my opinion.
Runs things and his pedigree as a Microsoft business guy. So if you read some of the reasons why people were
Scout 4-2. Console exclusivity only causes resentment towards consoles and its players. You hear, Rockstar? What the hell?
laid off a few years ago at Bungie and then laid off again. And
I'm going to be honest. I kind of dig the layout. Like maybe for my podcast, I'll try to do that where we can post comments from previous stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool, right? I'm going to try that.
Some of the other things that have happened, I would say Pete has not been, a great leader of Bungie Studios. Now, people can argue with that because he was able to negotiate Sony purchasing Bungie for $3.7 billion, which is quite a feat.
I like how she's smirking because I'm wondering if she wants to say the same fuck that I want to say. But I'm going to say it and see if she says it. He was successful because he oversold Sony. He lied, just like he was wanting to lie to the customers about the Halo situation. I guarantee he lied through his fucking teeth to Sony to save the burning ship, because before Sony took over, the ship was about to fucking crash. Like, it had already hit an iceberg. The Titanic was sinking. Listen, I know that Pete lied. Like, it seems like it's in his nature to lie and try to like min-max. And the consequences of that overselling to Sony was getting people to get fired, which I think is some bullshit, because other people suffered because he made a very scummy decision. Now you could argue, well, technically he saved the company by doing that. I mean, people still lost their job, and it's still, in my opinion, fucking scummy, but hey, each their own.
And frankly, they fired me and took my stock, but I fought them and I got my stock. So when
hell yeah, brother,
Bungie, I'm really glad that I had my Bungie founders stock.
Yeah, that's outstanding for you. That's
well, so that worked out for me. So
Marty's like, rip bozo, daddy's got a paycheck. What's that? You fired me? Man, let me wipe these tears off. Like, Marty's set for fucking life. I'm sure he can live a pretty decent life with whatever fucking money he got.
Like, on one hand, I should probably be thankful that, Pete made some of the decisions he made. But I think looking at how Bungie has been run, the people who were the original creatives at Bungie that have left and got, in my opinion, pushed out over the years, many creative, wonderful people I worked with for many years.
Unfortunately.
We're no longer there. And I think all you have to do is kind of look at where Bungie is right now and take a hard look at where Bungie is and what sort of
it's crazy. Like, I know they're trying to be respectful to him, but are like, is anyone else like going to fucking chime in? Like, this is the if I do my podcast, I would have like maybe one or two other people, but like, you have a host of people and we're just sitting there like, I think I'm reacting more to than they are.
Products they're making and how they're being responded to by the fans. And it's not a big surprise. We saw Sony come in and say, we're taking over, we're absorbing more of Bungie, or many things at Bungie. That was from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, because they're not doing shit.
It's just a matter of time, in my opinion, for the quote unquote CEO of Bungie in a wholly owned subsidiary of Sony to basically not really have any a power. And so it was just a matter of time for him to step down.
So we saw that note, the passing of the torch note over on the Bungie website.
No. It wasn't passing the torch. What he did was pass a burning house. He's like, hey, you want a house? Here it is. It's on fire. It's on fucking fire. But here, hey. That's what he did. He literally just donated a burning house.
Do you think that was him stepping down, or was this more of a being forced out type of thing?
I've been at the top levels of many big companies, and nobody ever gets fired. Nobody, except me.
What?
And I got fired because I was just too stubborn to take the deal. Everybody is given the option. Anybody who's in a position of leadership or, has founder stock or anything like that, they're all given here's your options. Here's how you get out cleanly. Here's how we're going to make it nice for everybody in the public to see. You spend more time with your family, moving on to new things. I've done everything I wanted to do. All this corporate speak. I'm sure all of you can read through this and say, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, on the inside.
I mean, it's very corpo, very generic. Like, guys, I care. It pains me. And it feels very half-assed when he's talking about like the creative minds at Bungie creating worlds. And you're like, bitch, you're the reason why they couldn't be creative enough. After we got reports that the good old boys were stifling innovation and creativity, like people wanted to actually like make what the players wanted, but we couldn't over deliver. We couldn't do any of that. It's all just corpo bullshit. Because again, like I said, action means more than words. We've seen the bullshit from Bungie. for years and years and years. It's all it is just some bullshit. That's it.
You're being fired. You're gonna go. They have made the decision that you're no longer welcome in this position you're in. And most people take the deal, whatever the deal is, or they negotiate for a better deal and they take that. Except for a stubborn weirdo like me who says, nope, you're going to have to fire me. That's it. And I'm publicly ready to be fired. Well, so I can't say that Pete was fired, but because I don't know. But my opinion is I'm sure there was some pressure there.
Sure. Marty, I'm sorry. Vera, do you have anything for Marty? Any questions?
Let them speak.
I don't think so. No.
So, Marty, this just comes to the tweet you had yesterday of, by the way, Pete, it is just business. But when you look at kind of where Halo is as
I love the meme. He's like, oh, they neglect their customers. They get what they deserve. I mean, I agree. Bungie gets what the fuck they deserve.
Franchise. You mentioned Pete came in. He took over in 2015, and you look at the games that were released since then. Like Halo is a damaged brand at this point. It is not what it was
it's
before. Bad. You can see the original release dates, but since 2015, Guardians was not received very well. Wars 2 and Infinite, even Infinite wasn't received very well. I don't like. It's certainly not the quote unquote golden age of Halo.
No, it is the Bronze Age. We're not in the gold. We're going backwards. We're in the Bronze Age of Halo. There's a competition between 343 and Bungie and who can make the most fucking disappointing game. Can Destiny be as disappointing as Halo, or is Halo going to be more disappointing? It is insane. The two franchises that I fucking love make me depressed.
Sort of the classic mistake. Bungie is not responsible for any Halo game after Halo Reach. So it's only Destiny is Bungie, and all the Destiny and everything in Marathon and all that stuff. That's Bungie. Microsoft, 343 Guilty Industries. Wait.
You're right. I'm a dummy.
No, you're not a dummy.
And now they're called Halo Studios.
Yeah. So there's a whole other part of my book that will deal with the sort of Microsoft side of things.
As a longtime Destiny 2 player, they're doing this live. I would love to do a live podcast, but it's just, I think, too much for what I do, like gameplay. I think it's too much. Like, that's a lot of setup that I just don't have time for. As long as a longtime Destiny 2 player, Bungie lost their way a long time ago. The game is stale as fuck. Too bad, because it plays so well. I think we can all agree it plays really well. It's a very fun looter shooter, which is why I still dabble with it. I just have definitely taken a back seat recently and just been watching anime or playing other games. Just going to be honest, even though I'm at 400, I've got a bunch of, tier 5 gear in Destiny. I'm pretty much done, man. I'm pretty much done. I kind of done it until the mid-season update, or there's an event that brings my attention. That's why I haven't been really streaming Destiny often, because it's just fuck all to do. Like, even today, as I'm recording this, we streamed a little bit of Destiny, but it was more of like a guide than it was me actually playing to play. It's the same old content.
So this is why I say it was a mistake not to get Microsoft out of Bungie. Because Microsoft is also not, in my opinion, good at understanding how to make entertainment. And I think my experience is I don't think the Halo series post Halo Reach lived up to what it could be.
No.
And then the Bungie era going into Destiny, I think, has suffered also. And I think, to me, it has to do with just this sort of big corporate mentality that takes over, and maybe it was inevitable, but it affected both Bungie and Microsoft Game Studios and 343. But I mean, they're not the only ones. Ubisoft and EA. I mean,
I think a lot of the old title, didn't even say Activision right now of Call of Duty. I mean, they're suffering. People are tired of Call of Duty. By the way, back when we were like Black Ops and all that was going on, like, I thought Call of Duty was going to keep cranking out game after game after game. Like, at this point, it felt like Call of Duty was going to be a game. Like we're going to be Call of Duty 200, and people would still buy it. But people are starting to get tired of it. People are starting to get bothered and annoyed with Activision and how they do Call of Duty, and we're starting to see it, man. We're starting to see games are starting to get boring, essentially, or repetitive, or the companies are making shitty choices that are making people want to step away from the game. Like Destiny's a perfect example where we're going backwards instead of forward. I mean, a lot of people have talked about World of Warcraft is starting to get stale. There's just a lot of examples. Like people are going back to playing older single player games, or they're looking at indie games now. Like indie games are taking a spotlight. It's because these AAA games are we're going in circles now. Either we're going in circles or we're just going backwards, which is not good.
It just seems to be, a disease of big corporations. So
yep, money. It's called money.
What do you think happens next in this situation? The transferring, the passing of the torch, if you will, here over at Bungie. Is this new guy Justin Truman? Are you familiar with him at all?
Yeah, I know Justin.
And do you think that he'll do a better job of
please, someone mention the over delivery shit. Please talk about it
in the company? And
I beg you.
He can't, because he's not leading the company. That's a misnomer. That's a mistake to think that. This is not the independent Bungie with an independent president, CEO, and an independent board of directors. That's the company I left. That hasn't existed since Sony bought them, 3 years ago.
He's just someone for Sony to boss around and say, hey, do our bidding for us, do X, Y, and Z, because
he's the puppet you shove your hand up the ass for.
We say so.
Well, I really hope Sony says he, him to him. Just,
gotta make sure you get those,
respect it.
Get those pronouns right.
Because obviously the beard doesn't tell you he's a dude or anything.
My pronoun is nice.
I fucking love that the first thing this chick says is to rail them about he, him, like pronouns. Brother, listen, I don't give a shit if you like it or don't like it. Like that, I don't give a shit. I personally don't. I just think it's fucking funny that this chick has been silent this entire fucking time. And the first thing she talks about is the pronouns. I'm sorry. It kind of caught me off guard. It's kind of fucking funny. Just silent the entire time. But fuck the pronouns. We can't keep quiet about it.
Maestro and maestros.
Oh, good. Excellent. Well, obviously a lot going on there. Is there anything else you want to add to that? Just everything that's going on here.
I know so many folks at Bungie. I've known so many folks who are no longer at Bungie. I mean, there was, like you said, I've talked about having this golden age. I have a podcast where I end up unearthing guys that used to work with me, from Alex Seropian to Lee Wilson, Jamie Griesmer. We've had a great time talking about the good old days. Lieb, for example, said, Marty, you keep talking about Camelot, because I remember there was a lot of, shifting of seats at the round table and fighting for seats at the round table. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure my memory is of what I would call that, Camelot golden age period is, maybe not 100% accurate, but I think for game development, thank you very much. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, nice. Ross Scott. By the way, we've got to totally catch up on Stop Killing Games. I have not made a video about it, but I want to do my justice by actually checking up on it. I want to see where we're at with that. I think that's very interesting. I might watch that and do I don't know. I haven't decided.
Ross Scott, my latest one was with Ross, and we talked about Stop Killing Games, which is, pretty cool. But anyway, just talking about what it was like to make games from 1996 through 20. I had my own company, Highwire Games, and sort of went into retirement about 2020, 2021. But there was a real golden age in the 2000s, from 2000 to 2010. That decade was an amazing era of game development across the board. So many different games, so many different companies, and it just feels like big corporations and big publishers saw the money, saw the possibilities of the money, and started making decisions on how games are being developed starting in, the teens that have not been good for the game industry. And I think we're going through a shift. I think we're going to shift back to something better. I have hope for the future that things are going to get better. So
at least someone has hope. I don't know. Like, I think Sony could do a better job, but I don't believe, and I'm gonna be real honest. I think Sony can make better quality with like games like Bungie with Destiny, but I don't see MTX leaving anytime soon. I don't believe it. I fully expect MTX to keep cranking into the game, whether with Sony or without Sony. But I do think the quality of the game itself can go up, especially if Sony actually invests into the game. I fully believe that is a possibility that can happen.
That is the goal, but I mean, so much money is being put into so many games. The giant budgets, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars at this point, going into these games. I go back to the 90s and the early 2000s. I can't even, if you would have said, hey, in a few years, in a decade or so, there's going to be $100 million video games. I'd be like, shut your face. It doesn't even compute to me. But here,
I think that's overkill. There is no fucking way that video games should be that much. Like, it's just overkill, man. Because a lot of these games just suck ass.
Here we are.
Well, when we negotiated with Activision back in 2011, 2010, I believe it was after Reach, we started negotiating with Activision and Sony and Microsoft. We were negotiating for Destiny. It was a $500 million
Golden Age. The 90s were right there.
Deal that we got with Activision, and that was unheard of at the time. People couldn't believe it, but that's what it was. But it was, that was sort of the global goal for a 10-year Destiny development. So the Destiny 1 was not a $500 million game, but I mean, when you get to that level, you start talking those numbers. It's insane. It really is, and they're inconceivable for most developers. We just don't know what it means to have games with those kind of budgets, and I don't think
what ends up happening to me, to what I think when I hear, hey, you get this big ass budget. You have so many fucking heads working on it. Like, there's a reason why these smaller indie games with a smaller team have much better success at popping off, is because you have too many people passing work around. Like, there are too many people are working on too many different things. And I think that's why you see a lot of games struggle in development, is because too many people are trying to do their own creative approach. If you don't have a good leader, it's gonna be a fucking shit show.
On the whole, games have gotten better because of that much money and the size of those teams. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but as a gamer, that's the way I feel. So,
no, absolutely not. Vera, have games gotten better since they've been throwing money at them?
I don't think I've ever played a game where I've said I think its budget matches the quality. Very rarely, because even games now, right, like Claire Obscure, we don't know exactly what that budget was, but we've estimated it's like $20 to $25 million. That's better than 98% of the products that the AAA industry is putting out on,
True.
A fraction of the budget. I mean, we see something like,
I've yet to play it, but I've watched gameplay. It does look pretty good. And the budget is incredibly low, but you've got to also think they had a smaller team to work on it, which means less people you're paying, but also less people, the possibility of fucking it up too.
Grand Theft Auto 6 being rumored to have $1 billion being put into it with the development time and then also marketing, which is absolutely insane. But will that even hit the quality level that we probably expect? Probably not.
No, but games like that, like GTA, fully plan to insert microtransactions up thy ass. Like, do not get it twisted. They will make triple the amount of fucking money they spend on it if it does well enough as like Grand Theft Auto 5, they will milk the shit out of the community. Like I am fully I'm ready. Not to spend money, by the way. I'm just going to clear you right now. I'm fully ready to expect there to be so much MTX in that game. And I guarantee it's going to be hyper aggressive. I would be very surprised at launch it's not hyper aggressive. I would be very, very surprised.
Well, yeah, what a mess. I think you can't just throw money at things and it'll grow, which
But you can't throw money at things and expect it to replace creativity.
Expensive games, Craig, are microtransactions cosmetics a joke to you? Because that's how you groom players to higher prices. True. A lot of games like will groom you into like, especially like Destiny. Like Destiny back, we started out with like just ornaments. Now we're starting to get hollow chips to give yourselves butterfly wings and angel wings and trails and all this bullshit. And now they're trying to sell you pay to win mechanics on the reward pass, like increase to reward, like for the portal score and boost to all your power level and all this other bullshit. Like Bungie is grooming the Destiny community into accepting slowly but surely accepting changes, which is insane to me that people don't see the red flags a mile fucking away, how easy they are being groomed and milked. And it's not just Bungie. Like Call of Duty is doing it. Like if you looked and watched their mobile Call of Duty, they've been doing shit like some of the animations that are absolutely insane. And people were like, whoa. Activision's been slowly inserting, stuff like that into Call of Duty. And it wasn't, I think, until Black Ops 6 that they full on sent that. And you had for one mobile animations that was in the mobile game. You got the crazy shit like that. And it's just insane. It's just absolutely fucking insane. But that's essentially what happened. They slowly condition you and groom you into thinking that's okay. So this person's, they know exactly what they're talking about.
There you go, Blabs. Or Blabs. There you go, Vera. Yeah, love that. Love that. Great job.
Yeah.
Bringing a lot, Blabs. Bringing a lot. All right.
That's why when on the
She's not bringing shit.
game side, when I say be nice to the goose, and I preamble to that is like pay attention to the eggs the goose lays.
Yep.
Regular old white eggs, great. Don't be mean to the goose, but you don't care that much about more white eggs. But when you see a golden egg, when this weird team out of nowhere, like for example, Claire Obscure,
Rockstar Clever, console only for a year, then buy again on PC. You are absolutely correct. You are fucking correct, L-Ventures. That is exactly how they do it. And PlayStation does it too. Like God of War, Final Fantasy. Like I bought it twice. Though I think those games are worth it though. I'm going to be brutally honest. If I ever want to be in like on my bed and I'm playing console, that's great. Or I could just play full on better graphics on PC. Look, I'm okay supporting games that are actually good. Like God of War and Final Fantasy, I'm all in. But that's me.
like don't make the sequel to Claire Obscure by firing half of the creatives on that team.
True.
Like that's the big mistake these business guys make in their boardroom.
Guys, we made a shit ton of money. We made a banger. Fire everyone. And then we're just going to try to milk and make another sequel, milk the fan base. Even if it's dog shit, we're going to make our money out of it. That's what it seems like happens. Even like Microsoft does that shit.
In their suits, is they somehow think that talent is fungible. Like, oh, well, okay, well, we're going to just need another composer. We'll need a different designer. We'll need a thing, but we'll just fill.
Marty, any possibility of the original vision of Destiny coming back? 10 years worth of development had to go somewhere before Activision threw it away.
Those slots with
True.
new people and, slap on Claire Obscure 2 and it'll be the same thing. It's like, no, it won't. And that's if the team that makes Expedition 33 says, we want to make something completely different than we made, let them do that.
Yes.
Because it's the team and their creativity that we like. Now, they still might fail, but like geez, don't force them to make a sequel they don't want to make. Now, I'm telling you, we did want to make Halo 2. I mean, and we did want to make Halo 3. And I think as sequels goes, those stand up pretty well.
They were chef's kiss.
But there's a lot of times when if you look at the team behind these games and projects, and you see that some of the key people have left or they're forced out, then that's the creativity has changed, and you're going to get a different product.
True.
Well, that is what was really amazing about Claire Obscure, is because a lot of the developers were ex-Ubisoft. They said that they weren't able to create what they wanted at Ubisoft, and their projects weren't getting greenlit. So they said, okay, bye. And then they made what I personally believe at this point in time is one of the top games of the decade.
Game of the year is what I hear. Decade, that's a strong stretch. I don't know.
Yeah, totally agree. And you hit it on the head right there. It's like they weren't allowed to be the creatives they wanted to be, so they had to go
Which is exactly what's happening at Bungie right now.
And by the way, that was exactly what we said in 2006 after we shipped Halo 2. We were like, well, there's a whole story behind that, but like, we were like, look, you guys at Microsoft don't understand that as creatives, we want to make the next cool thing that we think is really cool to make, and you're not behind us on this. So give us the freedom to do it, or we're just going to go pirate. We had this plan called the Pirate Plan, where a bunch of us were just going to go off and start a new company and make what we wanted to make. So yeah, I more power to the ex-Ubisoft people who made Claire Obscure. I think that's
okay.
Great.
Stop, please.
Yep.
Stop.
Why?
Rewind 15 seconds.
Wait, what? A
Go more
pirate?
into that. That's very intriguing to me. This pirate company. What was this? Give me the rundown on this. This is a story.
I was about to say, like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, tell us about it.
Well, you're gonna have to buy my book now.
We will promote the fucking book. I promise. Let's go. Let's go. What? Okay. Okay. So, I need to hear.
I mean, we were actually, believe it or not, and you'll see this in the book. It was.
He wants you to buy the book.
Or 3, I think, is when we first started this. So before Halo 2 came out, well, a year and a half before Halo 2 came out, a group of 7 of us, of course it was 7, had a serious discussion.
Oh, that's fucking funny, because the Bungie's number is 7, so that's kind of fucking funny. That is funny.
Robbie Bach, the senior vice president of Microsoft, and basically
that's
said,
funny.
we're going to go pirate. We're going to take our ball and go someplace else, because
I thought he was going to say we're going to take our balls. Literally did not expect the ball. I thought he was going to say balls.
we don't like the deal you're making with us as employees. And he actually said, Marty, you got to understand. And I was sort of the spokesman for the group. We're in his office, and he says, you have to understand that that Microsoft doesn't negotiate with its employees. And I said, okay, I understand. Totally makes sense to me. Why should Microsoft? They don't negotiate with the Word people and the Microsoft Office people and the SQL Server people. So why would they negotiate with this ragtag group of Bungie game developers who are, completely nothing but employees now of Microsoft?
Fair.
And so I saw my guys get up, and we were walking to the door to leave the office, and it was completely reasonable to us that Microsoft would not negotiate. And then Robbie says, Marty, come on, boys. I'm older than Robbie, so I appreciated him saying boys, but he says, boys, come back. Let's talk. And so we sat down, and I thought, I think Microsoft does negotiate with its employees.
There you go.
I'm no spring chicken, and I wasn't then, and I'd been around the block a few times, and I understood what was happening. So that was the beginning of us. We started working on getting our independence from Microsoft in 2003. And the threat, which was not meant as a threat, it just was the other possibility, was always the pirate plan, which is we go pirate. We take, we get on a little ship and get off the main ship, and we go to a new island and, have a new company. We make what we want to make, and let's see what happens. So that was a plan that we had at Bungie for a solid 4 years before we realized that goal.
Let's stick and go. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, where can everyone buy the book or pre-order?
It's funny. I mean, it's crazy that he was willing to have a strategy, and that's a big thing. I do not have any empathy for any Bungie developer that continues to stay in the toxic environment that is Bungie currently. I have zero empathy for them, especially the fact that people are saying how bad it is. Don't give a fuck. You have like Marty and all these other people who are made a plan to leave and make their own company. Sure, that's not easy to do, but fuck. If half the team on Bungie said, fuck it, we're leaving, we're going to go make our own group and or join someone else. You know, we're going to take our artistic vision and capability to a different company. Y'all fuck off. I mean, Bungie would be cooked. And you might see some change. I don't know. I have no empathy for Bungie developers at this point because they could make some of these decisions to, you know, make a stand and head out. Just my food for thought.
Well, that's still up in the air, but it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
And I don't know who's publishing yet, but we'll see.
When that happens,
yes,
you come back on.
I will,
and we will do a big stream promoting.
Oh, that'd
promoting
be
your book.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So real quick, speaking of Microsoft negotiating with employees, I was gonna hold off on the story, but we're here. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This came to us just a couple days ago. It says, breaking, Microsoft employee and, quote, community members calling themselves the Work Antifada have established a liberated zone, also known as an encampment, on the Microsoft campus in Redmond, Washington.
I didn't hear about this.
I don't know if you saw this, Marty. Did you I
was trying to look. I was trying to make sense out of what they were protesting and what they're looking for.
Responsible AI genocide.
I see. Okay, so it's
AI.
It's part of the Islamist propaganda. Sorry.
Huh? Responsible AI for genocide?
I'm against Islamist propaganda. So
well, this is them here, and this is what happened.
Anti-genocide protest continues on public sidewalk.
Microsoft cut all ties with the entire economy of genocide immediately.
That's right.
Every single Microsoft CEO.
Property, after all. So
I don't care. I want to talk to the game about games.
24. Everyone complaining that they're not getting their way, and all of these activists, of course, are going
to. If you want to watch all that, the link will be down below. I just came for the games. I don't want to get involved in politics or anything like that. So the link will be for you down below. I thought this was very interesting. I think we learned a little bit of some, like most of the stuff he talked about, I've heard. There was some new stuff like the pirate thing that was news to me, and just also like just the vibe. Like I think we can all assume the vibe was from Marty was Pete it was always a problem. Like Marty's never liked Pete, just never liked him, and I can understand why. Exclusive break silent. Wait, this must be like a snapshot of it. This is 4 days ago. This is 3 days ago. So there's multiple versions of this. I'm not watching 2-hour videos. Sorry, that's good enough for me. But listen, I think that Marty, I think his statement that Justin is not the leader. He's just the mouthpiece for Sony now. And I think that was, we could, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable having him as the mouthpiece, considering he's the dude that said over delivery, and I don't believe a shit that he didn't mean it, or it was blown out of proportion, and he tries to think it's funny and meme it. Like, I'm not laughing. The actions mean more than words, and the actions match the words of not over delivering. And so I have no faith in Justin Truman. Now, hopefully, maybe Bungie, or not Bungie, but Sony has the leash on him. Unlike Parsons, he has a leash on them, and we might actually get some changes. We'll see. But that is my thoughts. Side scrollers, never heard of it. I've obviously seen some of them. Like I remember this guy. I think his name's Craig. I think he's from Sneak Attack. That was a way back in the day. Holy, that was a way back in the day. But and then I've seen Vera before, and I know Marty. I don't know who these two are, but side scrollers, pretty cool. Like I said, link will be down below. Let me know what you think. Overall, I don't see things improving until we completely get rid of the top shelf, right? We throw all the leaders in the trash can and we reset, right? But that's my opinion. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to subscribe because Daddy Pete, Pete Grossman here. Daddy needs his money for his Ferrari, all right? Hit that. The takeover is now. That's all I'll tell you.